Hi, buddy. Welcome. I'm the Strategy Professor, and today we're going to be doing another coaching session, and this is going to be a Gold 4 Alistar game. So, special thanks to Johnny for the generous donation. All right, so first off, we're going to do an op.gg really briefly for what I see going on with his op.gg. Then we're going to talk about the pregame, and then I'm going to take some notes as we watch, and then I'm going to talk about the postgame afterwards, try to give Johnny the best 5 tips to climb an ELO or so. And then if you're interested in getting a coaching session of your own, I'll remind you again at the end of the video, you can just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. We can set that up. If you want to watch more coaching videos, I have a link here. If you want to watch specific champion guides, I have a link here. And yeah, let's go ahead and get on in here. Now, as I discuss and look at the op.gg, you're going to be able to see, if you're paying attention, the results of the game. So if you want it to be dramatic and you don't want to know like what's going on or whatever, then you can just skip to the game time in the description with timestamps if you want. If you want to follow along, you can find a copy of this Google Doc in the description as well. Okay, so here we go. All right, looking at the op.gg. So just overall, I'll say, you know, obviously you're doing very well with Alistar, so definitely stick with him, keep playing him. Yeah, you're doing much better with Ali than you are with Rakan lately. I'm not really sure why that is. We'd have to look and see. But, you know, if Alistar's working, as I always say, if it works, just keep doing it. And Leona, obviously, she's working. So you just want to keep playing what works. Okay. One thing that I will caution in ranked, you need to be careful with duos. I'm not sure about your relationship with Drakari here. But you're 1 and 5 with this, and I assume that's one of his Smurfs or something, and 1 and 3 there. So that's a total of like 2 and 8. It's rough. And I know it sucks, like, if this is, like, your real-life friend or someone that you play with a lot, you know, it sucks having to, you know, politely be like, you know, I'm not sure if we can do a ranked. I've had to do that to several people over the years, and, you know, there's just not a fun way around it. But if you really want to climb, you know, you should only duo if you're consistently getting, like, 60% or something with that person. Because when you duo, there's a high chance the enemy team's also going to have a duo, and so unless you're overperforming what would typically happen in solo queue, unless you're doing significantly better than you would by yourself, then you really need to probably consider not duoing. So you can still play normals with them, you can play flex with them, or whatever, but when it comes time to solo queue, just figure out some way to spin it. Just say, you know, maybe we just don't have the synergy together, or you know, whatever. But I've had to do that, and it sucks. So there's not a fun way to do it, but if you do want to climb, that is something to keep in mind. I mean, sometimes I play with, you know, friends or people that I know I'm not going to win with anyways, knowing that I'm going to lose, or I have a higher probability to lose, but you don't want to make a habit of doing it that often, unfortunately. Okay, as far as the game itself, kind of the rundown here, you want to make sure that you get at least 1 ward per 5 minutes on average. You have 5 wards in about 26 minutes. That's good. And then 1 normal ward per average. And it looks like you're kind of approaching that. 21 and 26 minutes. So getting down a few more wards would be helpful. But overall, that's pretty good ward coverage. As far as builds go, I would not recommend flat mana seals. Like, that's okay, but I would just like to see more magic resist here, because your role in this lane, because you're not going to be able to kill them early on unless they do something like dramatically wrong. Sona just has too much sustain. So your role here is really going to be to just soak shots from Sona, probably to walk up, make sure she's autoing you, you know, every now and then throw a headbutt at her or something, you know, just to keep her honest. Just scare her a little bit in case the jungler, like, make her think the jungler could be coming. But in general, you're just going to be soaking up hits from her, and that means you want as much magic resistant armor as you can get. So yeah, I would go, you know, all magic resist blues, armor reds, health yellows, and then all armor quints. Now the movement speed is useful, and I used to recommend movement speed back in the day, but you're just giving up too much lane dominance in terms of stats, especially because you're going to be getting auto attacked by this Sona over and over and over again. I think that, you know, you're really just better served by getting the armor. You'll have plenty of movement speed with the Moby boots down the line. So I would change that with runes. As far as mastery goes, you always want Courage of the Colossus. Not always, but unless you plan on getting Ardent Censor, then you need to go for Courage of the Colossus. You can go Ardent on Ally. Excuse me, but it's pretty awkward. It makes you a lot squishier, and especially on 7.21, which just released today, it's not going to be worth it on Alistar. So you always want to go Courage. It just gives you a better shield. It gives you just more damage mitigation. And the heal off of this is so weak. You know, I don't know. If you have 2,000 health, they're healing for 55 per hit, I guess, which is... That's all right. I mean, it's okay. I just feel like Courage will give you much better trading in lane, and it's just going to make you a lot safer on the spot. So another thing with Courage a lot of time is, or with Bond of Stone, is a lot of times you'll overheal. So when you first initiate and they land, you know, hits on them for the first 4 seconds or so, a lot of times, you know, those first 3 hits are just going to be overhealing because Caitlyn's still going to be at full health. And so a lot of times it's only going to be that last little second or two where they're going to get good hits in there. So I think just giving yourself Courage, because you're going to be taking a lot more hits than she will be probably, if you're the one initiating, is probably just a better option there. As far as masteries, I would just go down to Bandit just so you get that 1 gold per minion killed. Even though you're probably not going to trigger the melee that much, I still think that 1 gold per kill is going to be more valuable than these. I mean, the extra 3% damage is useful. I think you need to commit to one of these trees or the other. All right, so I think you either need to go for all the way down to get Battle Trance or all the way down to get Bandit and then get Meditation. Splitting the difference is... It's okay. You do get Biscuits, you do get move speed. It's okay. Like I said, I would still rather have Bandit than these two, but I kind of can understand the logic there, so I get it. That's fine. As far as itemization, I've talked about this on past streams, but I have the Equinox. It's just really bad. It just costs 100 gold too much. It costs like 650 to combine it, and it's just it feels bad. And you're paying a lot of health or you're paying a lot of gold for health regen, which is one of the worst stats in the game outside of laning phase. So... I mean, it does help you in laning phase against Sona if you guys are stuck in lane for a long time. But I think a much better path is just to go Targon, so the tier 2 gold item, and then Sightstone, and then either go to Ruby Sightstone after that, or just go to Knight's Vow, and then later on transition into Ruby Sightstone and Face the Mountain. This will give you a lot more health overall, and there just aren't a ton of great tank items out there, so... Getting Face plus Ruby is pretty good, and then you'll have the activatable with Face and Face the Mountain and Knight's Vow and Locket if you eventually get Locket. So you'll have a lot of opportunities you'll be able to maximize that 20% item cooldown. So a lot of people do that build on Thresh, and that's what I'd probably recommend here as well. It's just Equinox just feels really bad. It just feels like you're dramatically overpaying. So that's what I would recommend. So Equinox is alright. I just think that Ruby plus Face is better most of the time. That shield off of Face is actually quite nice. It shields you and it shields them for a pretty large amount once you get a decent chunk of health. So this build's not bad. It's alright. Just going Equinox into Vow, definitely good, but I think maybe just not completing Equinox and just going, you know, Targon's, Sightstone, Vow, Face, Ruby might be a little bit better. And then after that, either Zeke's or Locket would probably be better depending on how fed Orianna is. If Orianna is really fed, you need to get Locket. If she's not, and either Kled or Caitlyn are really fed, then get Zeke's, so you can give them extra damage. Okay, pregame, you want to try to soak up as much harass from Sona as you can, like I said. Caitlyn has really high range, so hopefully... that shouldn't be a problem. It's hard for you to push as Alistar, but if you can get Kate to push him in, then Sona's going to have a lot less opportunities to harass you. So the name of the game here is just survive the laning phase. Don't let Sona get too much harass on you, but you want her to hit you instead of Caitlyn, if you can help it. Make sure that you have good ward coverage versus Eve, especially once he hits 6. You're going to need to make sure that you always have a control ward down in a good spot to spot her. And just make sure she doesn't sneak dragon. I don't think she's really a threat to sneak dragon. But, you know, potential liability for Alistar and Leona that you also like to play is they don't have a reverse gear. So if they go in, if they engage and the jungler just comes out of nowhere, then you're probably going to die. So you need to make sure you have really good vision before you engage so that you can ensure that the jungler doesn't just come take you out. And you guys should be able to win late game. Just make sure that you peel off the Eve and the Warwick with your W and your Q. So you might need to initiate with a WQ every now and then, but you can also just hold those skills and use them to peel. So we'll just have to see what goes on in the game, what you should be doing. Okay, let's go ahead and get on in there. Oops, let me turn on the sound here again. There we go. I mean, they're unlikely to roam or to invade, but you need to stand either here or here. Like, pick a spot and watch an entrance. Like, there's really no point in standing here. You always want to be as productive as you can be with your time. So I would have run and either sat in this bush or just warded this bush. Try not to walk that way if you don't have that bush warded. They could punk you. That comp is not likely to do it with Vayne and Sona, but they could, you know? Like, they could just be sitting in that bush and then just, you know, hit Caitlyn for half of her health and run away. Holy crap. Can I disable that? Jesus. We good? Did Diana get that? Okay, good. Your buddy's having a good game this time. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let me back that up and see. How did she use engage on her Kate trapped her? Or did she step on the trap first? Oh, nice, nice. Nice. I like that. So you headbutted her into the trap. Sona corner pocket. I like it. It's very good awareness of those traps. Jesus Christ, this kid. How do I disable that? I know how to do it in game, but I don't know how to do it in client. Kid is absolutely obnoxious. Sorry guys, I don't know how to disable that. Jesus Christ. Like, is there not some kind of spam control on that? You could be here, so be a little careful. Nice, that was good. Good. Yeah, they just keep stepping on these traps. Did she just step on it on purpose right in front of your face? Yeah. She just thinks she can walk up and do that, huh? That's right, let her know. Start flashing some signs at you. You flash your sign at her. Okay, yeah, Eve's there. Eve's probably not that scary yet, but, you know, you don't want to be there when Eve shows up and Vayne shows back up. Yeah, just going back, back. Okay, so yeah, your landing phase, good. Okay, so she flashed. I don't know if it's worth using your flash there. I guess. Because you're the one that's initiating, so she needs her flash more than you need yours, I guess. Okay, what was going on there? Is there anything you could have done to protect her? No, you're too low. Yeah, you just gotta back. It's her fault for being goofy. Did you ping her back? Yeah, okay. I mean, that's all you can do. If she's gonna do something dumb, she's just gonna do it. You told her not to. Alright, what you got? Okay, I like that. I guess that's fine. I'm a little worried that you don't have a sight stone. You at least have a control ward. You do have a control ward. I guess that's fine. I mean, Eve is 6 at this point, so I guess Sightstone does lose a little bit of value. Okay, good roam. Okay, yeah, good call. I would control ward something in here. Make sure they don't have it warded. Oh, I thought you had an auto on her. Okay. Where'd you put your control ward? They clear, or is this it? No, don't do... Well, okay, I guess you're trying to roam here. I guess that's fine. I thought you were trying to wait here to gank somebody coming through here, so... Alright, that's pretty clever. I think that's too much. Nah, you're working too hard. If someone comes rolling up out of here, you're dead. Yeah. It's trying too hard. You gotta respect Eve a little bit more than that. I mean, Alistar can dive, but the problem is it's just Lux. And that's like a full health Sona who is really, really far back. Was reaching a little bit too much. What? Alright. What do we got here? Okay, good. Sightstone. Alright, I like it. Okay, so I'm just gonna write down. So far, I mean, this is like just about picture perfect, you know? As far as I can see. You've been roaming a lot. You had really good lane pressure. You're trying to extend that pressure on the map. You need to get some wards down. The only, like, significant mishap was just that dive middle. Which, once again, like, Allie can dive, but you need vision on Eve, and you need to make sure you're going to have enough kill pressure. Okay. Okay, that's a good call. Oh. Yeah. That was like 1 millisecond too early. That was right before you got the stun you autoed. And you're only going to have time for one auto. Yeah. You need to wait that one extra little second there. Overall, pretty good. Once again, you don't have vision of Eve, though. If Eve rolled through here, like if she just blast coned over this, like right when y'all were doing that, she would have double killed you. So you gotta have better vision on Eve. You do have Sightstone, right? Yeah, you gotta ping Sightstone and just tell, and I'm guilty of doing this too sometimes. You gotta tell Caitlyn, push in, chill, ping your Sightstone, and just say, let me ward. And then where I want you to ward is I want you to ward here. Okay, there she is. So she got one of you. Actually, Eve is 6, so we're going to change the warding up a little bit. I think here for a control ward is good. Who's a... Mid lane's Ori. I think ward here anyways, because if she tries to kill the Scuttle, you'll get vision of it, and if Orianna tries to roam in here, you'll get vision of it. So I think it's still worth it to ward here, but then I want you to come up here and ward right here. If you can get this spot. If you can't get this spot, if it's too dangerous, then ward here. And that way you're going to watch the Gromp, and you're going to watch the blue. And then, if you have time, you do have mobility boots, so you can move quickly. If you have time, come over, dust this, see if she's in there, and if she's not, walk up and ward right here in this wolf pit. So you want here, here, and here. So this will see if she's doing any jungle camps on the right side of the map, because it reveals her when she's doing jungle camps. And then this will see if she's doing Scuttle, and it'll check to see if Orianna's rotating down. So you gotta tell them to chill until you get those wards down. Now, you have to ping and like actually type, hold on, let me ward. Because so many times, if you just walk out of there and try to go ward without communicating a lot, then the AD carry's not gonna notice and they're just gonna die. So half the time they die anyways, if you ever leave lane. You're too far, you're too far. You gotta back up. Diana got aggro there instead of letting you get aggro first. If you're on voice comms, I think this is your buddy. If you're on voice comms, you need to tell them to make sure that you have aggro first. Like, you need to start that off with a combo before she goes in. And then you can ult and face tank a lot of it. Get him, Kled. He moves so slowly when he doesn't have his mount. Okay, I was making sure. I thought I heard my daughter in the other room. Okay. Alright, what'd you get? Okay, so... It's gonna write down... let me pause this, I'll go back. I just want to write this down. Okay. Ward before all in. Ward Eve camps. Get aggro first on ganks. Just type in chat something like I start or let me start or whatever. Like ping in that you're gonna go and then just type like let me start. Okay, let me back up. What was going on here? Okay. Who got that? Did they get that? Okay, you got it. Okay, good. Yeah, good rotation. You need vision. You need more vision in here. You have a side step, but you don't have any vision in this river. Okay. You need to be very... You guys don't have... You know you don't have Kate. Yeah, Vayne's gonna beat her here. Okay, so that worked out, but mostly because your opponent's misplayed. Like, I think it was the incorrect play to go for. But like, the result was good, so you guys didn't get punished for it. So the reason for that is you don't have vision on anybody bot lane, so you don't know where they are, but you do know that Caitlyn's bot. So you know that if all 5 of them are there, for sure it's going to be a 4v5. You see. Okay, I did see Vayne bottom. When did you know? Okay, you see Vayne here. She's lollygagging around. Let me see if we see. Okay, you do see her bottom. Okay, so I guess if you're paying attention here... but she could be wrapping around through here. I just don't know. Like, we know that Caitlyn's behind Vayne because Vayne's not... Okay, there she is. And Lux just got picked. So right now, you know it's a 4v3, and it potentially could be a 5v3 if Vayne rolls up. So yeah, it's a 5v3. Caitlyn's late, but you guys managed to get it just because Cled's so strong right now. I guess that's fine. I mean, Kled was like 10-1 when the fight started. But just remember, if you don't have a Kled on your team that's 10-1 at that point, you need to not fight that, because you know that if Vayne shows up first, which there's a good chance she will, and you just lost Sona, that it's going to be a 5v3. Because obviously Caitlyn doesn't have teleport. I'll call that, like, don't fight up. Don't fight up in numbers. Only fight when you have the numbers. Or even at best. Usually you want to take most fights where it's uneven. Where you immediately pick somebody and kill them, and then you cascade and kill everybody else. Obviously those are the best fights. But, you know, the worst fights you should take are going to be, like, clean 5v5s. You should never take anything. It could be a 4v5. Okay, what do you have? Alright, working Knight's Vow. It's good. So at this point, you just need to play around Kled. He's, like, unstoppable right now. I mean, Vayne doesn't even have a full item, and he has 3 full items. No, no, y'all need to leave. Your friend's getting you into trouble here. You need to ward more, too. Like, I understand there's a lot of stuff going on, but just drop wards. Wherever you're going, just drop wards. Okay, so your friend's trying to counter jungle. He shouldn't be doing that. Because you don't have vision. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly from the op.gg, you're gold 4 and your friend is silver 5. At least on one of those accounts, he's silver 5. Maybe that's not his main, but you got to let him know, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying there's, you know, you have to be the one to help him make decisions. If you're the one that's higher elo, if you're on voice comms with him, you got to tell him not to do this. Because you don't know where anybody is. Like, literally 4 people are off the map right now. They could all be right here or right here. You know there's at least 2 people. Yeah, and you need to be warding as you're going through here. So, like, I know you're on your way to help your friend, but you need to ward on the way because you have no wards on the map right now. Okay, good. That's a ward. But as you walk through here, you need to ward this and just go ahead and ward this. And that'll let you know if people are collapsing. So ward here, and as you come through here, ward here. And that way you can see if people are collapsing at least. But I just would let him die, honestly. I wouldn't even go over there, because if all 4 people are there and you try to save him, you're dead. Like, once they turn off your mobility boots and hit you, you have no reverse gear, they're just going to kill you. Yeah. So people are starting to get picked off here. Like, Kled is, you know, 13-1 or something, so he can kind of get away with it. But this is how you throw games. Like, 101. is kind of the Kled show. Okay, so I'm going to say don't let allies bait you. If it looks like the fight's really bad, like Kled's up there like 1v3, you just gotta let him go. Especially if you like to play Alistar and Leona, and the reason is they can't escape, they can't get out. Like, if you go into a bad fight, you're just donating another kill to the enemy. Like, more times than not, I would say, like, probably 60 or 70% of the time, you know, if you try to go in with someone like Alistar and Leona, you don't have vision, and you know there's a lot of people, you're already outnumbered, you're probably just going to give them an extra kill. Now, if you're Janna or something like that, you can take a look at trying to save people, because Janna can just run in and, like, throw a shield, like, try her ultimate or something, and then just run out. So she has escapes. Or like Rakan. Maybe you could E into somebody, ult, just to charm them all, and then just run out of there as fast as you can. So, like, Janna and Rakan, champions like that, might be able to sneak in, and, yeah, I think it happened again. Let me go here and look. Was that 2v5? 2v4? Okay, it starts off kind of 3v... Okay, let me just... Okay, so you know 3 people are here. Caitlyn, Sona, and Eve, right? You know Diana's bottom. I'm gonna pause this. You know Diana's bottom. You know Warwick's top. Okay, so these people are out of the picture. Warwick does have TP. Diana does not. Okay, also, you know if you die here, it's a huge risk for Baron because you're smite spot lane. You know you don't have Kled. So right now, you know, you should be thinking to yourself, okay, there's no one here because they're not matching Diana. Warwick's here, so there's unlikely to be anyone else here. So the only place they could be is around mid lane. There's nothing else they would be doing. You have vision over here, so you know they're not on the right side of the map. You know they're not in this jungle, probably. Deep in the jungle. So really the only place they could be is here, around Orianna, or here. Just outside of darkness walking up mid lane. 4 of them. So it's going to be at least 4 people, potentially. And it's a huge risky fight because if you lose it, they could, and they have a lot of numbers, if Vayne stays alive, you know, they could potentially make a run at Baron. Because Sona can heal through it, and Sona's blue aura does a lot of damage to it as well. And obviously Vayne does a lot of damage to it. So, you know, if they kill you here, you're losing Baron. If you kill them, you're probably not going to get Baron. If you kill a couple of them, because Diana's bottom. If they have any kind of threat left, it's going to be hard to get Baron. So, in other words, it's too risky to do this fight. It's going to be a tough fight to win anyways, because it's likely going to be a 3v4. And the risk is extremely high because they could get Baron off of it, because your smite's not there. Okay, so let's see how this unfolds. Go ahead and get Orianna there. I know you want Vayne, but you already had 4 stacks on Ori, right? Just go ahead and hit Ori. And then you can, I don't know, deal with Vayne later. Like, right here, just... Yeah. Yeah, y'all got flanked and killed. Warwick's probably coming down here right now. And now they get something. They either get Dragon or Baron. They're probably just going to get Dragon. I'm pretty sure they could have done Baron, but Kled is up, and they're very scared of Kled. Yeah, your friend, you gotta get him out of there. You gotta tell your friend, look, you can't split if he has smite. You can't split with no vision. And he's gotta understand, as soon as they kill 3 people middle, like, where are they gonna go? They're either going to Dragon or Baron, and if they're going to Dragon, they're just gonna kill him for free and then get it, you know? So he's, you know, you gotta work on that map knowledge a little bit more there. Okay, so I'm going to put that under the category of don't let allies bait you. You need vision. You need a lot of vision. Like, you have no vision in here. Ward this. Right here, right here. Or this. Anything. Just drop wards. Now it's dangerous because you're backtracking, and if they saw you on a ward, they might already be coming. A good place to ward is right here. Okay, there's Eve run. Right here. Now you're getting baited again. You're getting baited again. The 2 people aren't here right now. All 5 of them are missing. Alright, it worked out because Kled is obscenely fed right now. But once again, if we just go back and just look, just before you fight, just pause and look at the minimap for like 2 seconds and just read it. And just see, at a bare minimum, count the dots. You know, just see, do you see any red dots on the map? And if there aren't, assume the red dots are near you. And then, do you have enough blue dots to match those red dots? Okay? So, you know there's Caitlyn, split pushing bottom. Lux is over here. So, and Diana just backed. So, you know, there's 3 people here. You know there are 2 right here that can collapse. There's nobody marking Caitlyn bot. So if you get into a fight, it's going to be a 3v5, potentially. Because there's nowhere else they can be, right? They're not in mid lane. They're not in bot lane. So it's going to be a 3v5. And this is basically just Kled's an obscenely powerful champion when he's really far ahead, and he's really far ahead. So that actually was a 4v5. Orianna wasn't there. She was just hanging out in her base. Or 4v3, rather. So it was a 4v3, and Vayne just doesn't have any items yet. Like, she just cannot kill Kled. Because she went static Shiv before Infinity Edge. So it's like 24 minutes into the game. She doesn't have Infinity Edge. So, you know, you don't need to take that fight. So if it's another game where it's a lot closer, and your top laner is not like a super fed hyper carry, then you're going to lose those fights. Okay. Run. No, no, no. Don't take that. Get out of there. Get out of there. Get out. 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 You're not gonna... Kled's bailing y'all out so hard. Once again, if it wasn't a super fed person, they would have crushed you, because Sona's just gonna heal through most of the stuff. So this is actually like... This is really good to see that, you know, even though you're winning, even though this is... It looks like it's going to be very hard for you to lose this game at this point. Like, it's important to understand there are... Like, you can still make a lot of mistakes and get away with things in some games because you have someone that's just so fed that it's almost impossible to lose. So there are some games that are impossible to win. There are also some games that are impossible to lose. Seemingly. A very low probability to lose and very low probability to win. But you've got to recognize that in your own play, right? Where it's like... It can be misleading. It can make you think like you're making a lot of really good decisions because people on your team are covering for you. Now, you are making good decisions, so I don't want to detract from that. I'm just saying that, you know, and I'm guilty of this too, you don't want to be just results-oriented. You don't just want to think, okay, I just won these games, or I'm on this hot win streak, I must be doing, like, phenomenally better right now. Or I'm on a loss streak, so I'm just playing terribly, you know, it sucks, and all that stuff. That's not necessarily true. Like, you can play really well and still lose games, because there are just going to be some games where instead of the Kled being, like, 21-1, at this point, he could be 1-21, you know, and that game would be unwinnable, probably. So you just got to take it with a grain of salt and just look and just think, okay, you know, is this the best thing I should be doing regardless of the result, right? So the result doesn't matter. Is it the same thing that I should be doing? You know, is it just a good decision? Yeah, if you're deliberately altering your playstyle to be more aggressive because Kled is so fed, you know, that's one thing. But I think, you know, especially in gold and even in platinum, you know, probably even in diamond, you know, you need to play for perfection, right? you need to try to play as though, you know, as though you're not going to want to fight 3v5s, right? So that's what I can help you out with. So yeah, this was a game where it was going to be impossible to lose. Basically, they just don't have anyone that can deal with a 21-1 Kled. Not many champions could. But these are things that I think will be very helpful to take away. Is this macro? The biggest thing that I've seen, you know, here is don't get baited into bad fights. Like, look at the mini map, check and see, is this going to be an even fight or an uneven fight? If it's going to be uneven, do not fight it. Like, even if Kled's really far ahead, because there will be so many games, and I'm sure you've had these out there, where somebody's ahead, maybe not like 21-1 ahead, but maybe like 6-0 or something. They get really cocky, they try to fight 1v3, they die, you know, and then they die again fighting another 1v3, and they're like, where's my stupid team, you know, I did all this great stuff, I was awesome, and my team just sucks, you know. All it takes is a couple of deaths. So, you know, you got to rein people in, you got to ping them back if they're doing silly stuff, and you can't be complicit in that. Like, you can't just go with the flow, right? You can't just jump in and make it a 2v3. You have to ping them back, and if they're going to die, just let them die. Alistar's not the savior kind of champion, right? He's an initiator, he's powerful, but if you go in, you're going down with the ship most of the time. Especially with Moby Boots, which is what you should get on Ali. That means you're super slow. And you have no, like, movement speed steroids or dashes. I guess you can, like, ward and, like, headbutt over a wall to headbutt some, you know, jungle camps to get away or something. Like, very convoluted escapes, right, that just aren't reliable. So, like I said, if you were Janna or Rakan, sure, you might be able to run around and try to save people doing stupid stuff without paying the price yourself. But as Alistar, as Leona, who are your two best champions, you really got to work on picking your fights very well and making sure they're fights you can win, because you're not getting out and you're just going to give them one extra kill if it's a losing fight. So you got to make sure that you're on point with that. But yeah, I mean, your laning phase is awesome. You got several great kills. You had some awesome picks on Sona. I was very, very impressed with your headbutt into the trap. That was awesome. I would not have even seen that if I was Alistar. I probably would not have even tried for that play. That was really cool. I hadn't even thought of that setup there. Like, I've seen it the other way where, you know, you headbutt combo someone and then Caitlyn lays the trap and combos them. But to have the trap on the ground and then just, you know, to just get the perfect angle to knock Sona onto that, well, that was really cool. That was my favorite play of the game. So you had a great laning phase. You forced, like, really good fights. You got some kills. You got your lane ahead. You're supposed to lose that lane versus Sona. You know, she's supposed to be able to poke you out. So you did a very good job navigating the laning phase. It's just working on some of the dives and working on just reining your team in, and just do not participate in silly fights. Okay, so let's write it down here, some of this stuff. It's mostly what I said, but, oh, more vision too. This is something that I used to be really bad about, and I still do it some, but I've been working on it, is ward in transit. Okay, if you don't have wards on the map, or you just have extra wards in your inventory, ward on your way. I've pointed that out sometimes. I know sometimes we're just, like, so focused, we're like, okay, I'm roaming middle, I'm trying to pay attention to what's going on middle, so that I know the situation and I know what I need to do when I get there, right? So we're so busy, you know, looking at the mini to see if anyone's following us, you know, looking up screen to see what we're going to do, and just sort of envisioning how we're going to approach it, who we're going to crowd control, like, what we're going to do, that we just forget you could drop wards on the way. And so as you're running places, like I showed you when you're trying to run with Diana, to be clear, I would have let Diana die there. But if you're going to run in the area, you know, drop wards on the way so that you know if people are following you, or if they're trying to cut you off eventually, just drop wards while you're on your way anywhere. If there's going to be some action going down, just drop wards all over the place, just to make sure that you have really good vision to see if the enemy's collapsing on you. So that's a really simple way to get more wards on the map, and to just make more decisions, just make better decisions in fights, is just to drop wards as you go. So as you're roaming, just drop a trail of wards behind you. Let's see. Yeah, ward where Eve is going to farm, and that's how you see her. Like, you don't want to just put your standard wards up once Eve gets invisible level 6. You put it on her camps. And then that way, you're going to know where she is, which side of the map she's on. So you can play more cautiously if you see her doing wolves, for example. You know not to go all in bot lane because you know she could be there. So don't just put them in standard spots where she can run through them invisible. But, you know, put them on her camps because she can't be invisible if she wants to do any camps. So that's a good way to work around Eve. And now that she doesn't turn invisible till 6, you should have a Sightstone by then. So that shouldn't be as much of a problem as it used to be when Eve was invisible right off the gate. Yeah, just type me first and ping so they know you're going to get the aggro. Then you have to go in, combo somebody, ult. Because one of the big reasons that dive bot lane, one of them failed, was Diana went in first and got the aggro. And then she had to run out of there, like, no health. And then you went in, you got the aggro, and you guys didn't have enough damage to convert with just the Caitlyn because Diana couldn't go back in. So that's why that failed, was because you didn't get the aggro first. Just make sure your team knows you should get the aggro first. Okay, do not, like I said over and over again, do not get baited into low probability fights. Alistar just can't do that. He can't handle it. He doesn't have the mobility. He doesn't have enough defense, defensive capabilities to protect his allies. Like, Thresh is another person who can go in closer and try to save people because he can just throw a lantern at them. And sometimes they click on the lantern, sometimes they don't. But it's worth getting close to throw that lantern as Thresh because you can do it from a safe distance usually. So there are certain champions that can do it. It's just Alistar, that's not one of his things. He doesn't help people escape. He goes in, he fights, he crowd controls, he helps blow people up. That's what he does. But he does not go into bad fights and try to bail out people that are out of position. Okay, yeah. So just don't let allies bait you. So you need to shot call more to get your team to make good choices. So what I mean by that is there were several times where Diana was just split pushing bottom with your smite, and they could have forced Baron if they wanted to. She was trying to counter jungle with the Gromp, got caught. Kled was trying to 1v3 mid lane. I think Caitlyn was down there just randomly pushing bottom at one point. So, what the heck? So, you know, you need to tell them. You need to say, hey, let's get around Baron. I'm going to ward it. Let's bait Baron. Or, hey, Dragon's coming up in 1 minute. Let's go back and buy. Be strong. Let's fight. Or, like, hey, let's all group top lane and we'll have Kled split bottom or something like that. So, yeah, just direct your team more to help them make smart decisions. Because if you don't direct them, they're just going to run around aimlessly and probably get caught and die. So you need to make sure that you give them a good game plan, a good understanding, and help them execute. That's how you climb. You have to be the person, like, if you want to get to platinum or whatever your goal is eventually, you have to think and play at a higher level, right? You can't just go along doing what everyone else is doing. You have to be better than them. You have to lead them to make the right choices. That's how you climb. You can't climb just by being an average person in an elo, right? You can't just go with the flow. And that's why going with the flow is bad, because everyone else in the game is going to be playing, if it's a gold 4 average game, everyone else in there, the vast majority of them are going to be playing gold 4 games, right? They're going to be playing at a gold 4 level. If you want to rise, if you want to get to that platinum 5 level or whatever, you have to start playing at a high gold platinum level if you want to climb. You can't just play at their level. You have to play better than them, and not only play better than your enemies, but help your allies play at a higher level, right? You have to elevate their game. You can't just do it alone, right? You have to elevate them to play a better game, and that means communicating the correct decisions to them, shot calling a little bit better, stopping them from making these bad plays, okay? And not being complicit if they are making the bad plays. Just, you know, Oops, they died. Go do something else with your time productive. Go get some deep rewards. Maybe go roam and play off someone strong. So, you know, if Diana's going to die bottom anyways, counter jungling Gromp, maybe just go use that time to go set up wards around Baron. Or maybe work with Kled and just say, hey, Kled, come sit in this jungle. Their red's about to spawn. I've got a control ward. Let's just sit in this bush and kill them when they come for red. You know, just set something up and play around your strength. Okay, that's going to be it overall. Good job. Great laning phase. You just got suckered in. And you, to be fair, like I think, I don't know if I said this explicitly, but you weren't the one getting into these bad decisions. Like, you weren't the one initiating the bad fights, right? And that's good. That's definitely, like, step one, right? Is you aren't the one who's trying to split push. You're not the one who's warding too deep and getting caught. You know, you're not the one starting this stuff. But you're trying to go in to save people that are drowning, and they're pulling you down with them. So that's the thing. You've got step one, but you got to take it to step two, which is don't be complicit in that stuff. And then after that, once you like don't get baited into these things, you have to go to step three, which is what a lot of people never get to. You have to actually shot call. You have to tell them, you know, what to do, guide them so that they don't get in that situation in the first place. Okay. All right. So that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Hopefully this helps. I know sometimes in the games that are kind of blowouts like that, it's difficult to find things that can help you out, but I hope that these things will help you. Let me know if you have any questions, and if anyone else out there, once again, would like a coaching session, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Happy to set that up. I also have a membership system if you're interested in coming out and playing every Tuesday. It's a lot of fun. I just play normals all day with members. It's just $5 a month. It's less than $0.25 a day. If you want a coaching session, it's 10% off of that too, so it's just $18 instead of $20. So, you know, if you're getting a coaching session anyways, it's just $3 more to go ahead and get a month membership. Come in, try it out. If you enjoy it, keep coming around. You get to hang out in the Discord. We have a vibrant, awesome, super friendly community. I think we have one of the best communities on YouTube. Everyone's very helpful, friendly, and that just spills over to the Discord where people can be even more friendly. Share like funny stories about their day, share some funny memes, share pictures of their pets or family or whatever, because they feel comfortable there, because we get the trolls out of there. We do not keep trolls in this community. We get them out real quick. So it's a great, awesome, friendly, classy community, I think is a way to say it. You know, I always want to say like adult or mature community or something, but that sounds too much like a porn thing or something. There's no porn here, but it's a classy community, right? So it's a lot different from your typical sort of gaming stream community out there. And so if you want to be a part of that, if you want to support that, if you want to come out and play some games with some classy adults that just really enjoy some League of Legends and just really enjoy the camaraderie and friendship that we're developing between everybody, then just come on out. It's just $5 a month. Hang out. It's free. Or at least come and watch Viewer Nights every Tuesday, and you can chip in and say some funny stuff, and it's just a good time. So if you're interested in that, down at the bottom we have the link, PayPal link right here. Like I said, it's just $5 a month. I just run it through PayPal. You can cancel anytime you want. There's no contracts, no sign-up fees. As long as you want to support the channel and you enjoy the content, it'll just draw $5 every month. If for some reason you need the money down the line to pay some bills, you know, whatever, you can just leave whenever you want. There's no cancellation fee. So as long as you want to support, you stay. If not, you know, we'll miss you. But I understand sometimes life happens and you need to, you know, save that money sometime in the future. So that's, you know, always an option there. I just run it through PayPal so that I don't constantly have to run people down every month and email them, hey, you got that $5 donation this month. It just makes it a lot easier for bookkeeping. Okay, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day. And thanks again for the donation. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one.